and you're locked into another episode of the MLU podcast. My name is Josh, and I'm glad to be back with you here once again this week, making that intersection between faith and animation, and delivering those redemptive analogies you've come to know and love. And we're here. We are at the end of our romance series. For the whole month of February, we've been discussing love, romance, relationships, in a variety of different shows here, and we've had a lot of fun doing it. But this episode will bring that to a close. So I want to talk about a Disney short, actually. And some of the best animated Disney shorts that I've seen have been communicated with no dialogue, like none at all. And I feel that the way Disney has done this is it communicates the topic and the overall feeling and emotion so much more than words ever could. One thing that brings to mind is Paperman, about a guy who is stuck in an office day to day, just doing the old corporate grind, and then he sees a beautiful young woman, tries to get her attention. It's all very fun and very heartwarming. I would definitely recommend checking that out. But today we'll be talking about a more recent short film titled Us Again. This Disney short film was released in 2021, and though it's only about 6 minutes long, it tells a story that feels deeply personal and incredibly universal. This film, once again, has no spoken dialogue, but it definitely has a breathtaking animation and a very lively jazz-inspired score, which I love. Once I heard the jazz music, I was like, sold. I don't care where we go from here. You keep that jazz beat up, doing it. So let's break down the short. We open up with Art, an elderly man who seems weighed down, not just by age, but by life itself. He sits in his chair, shoulders slumped, staring blankly at the television. The world outside is vibrant, people are out and about, life is happening, but he doesn't engage. There's this immediate contrast between his stillness and the energy around him, and then we have his wife, Dot. From the moment she enters the scene, she's different. She moves lightly, full of energy, still carrying that youthful spirit. She's excited, playful. She wants to go out, to dance, to live. But Art, he refuses. He just waves her off, uninterested, content to stay in his old routine. I certainly can relate to this, because there are times where I don't want to try new things or get out. I just want to be a homebody, but I don't want to be left behind when the world is just, progressing. But this is what a lot of relationships go through. One person still has the fire, the energy, the desire to experience life together, while the other feels done, tired. Maybe it's because of age, maybe it's because of stress, but either way, they're no longer on the same page. Now, in the film, the rainstorm comes, and suddenly something magical happens, as it normally would in a Disney short. The moment the rain touches them, they are young again. The wrinkles fade, the aches disappear, and they are transformed back into their younger selves. It's not just physical, it's emotional. Art feels that energy again. He feels light, alive, and together with Dot. And so they start to dance, and I mean really dance. The kind of dancing that fills the streets with movement, where the whole city becomes their ballroom. The animation style shifts into something almost weightless, full of life and energy. Every leap, every spin is filled with pure joy. And for a moment, Art is fully immersed in all of this. He's back to the person he used to be, the one who moved freely, who embraced love with passion, who saw life as an adventure. But then we have another shift. The rain starts to fade, and with it, so does the magic. Art starts to realize what's happening. He's about to lose that feeling again, and in that moment, instead of embracing the joy he's just experienced, fear sets in. He doesn't want to go back. He runs, desperate to stay in the rain, to hold on to the version of himself, but the more he runs, the more he realizes he can't stop time. Eventually, the rain stops completely, and just like that, he's old again. And then we come to a decision. Art is obviously disappointed that the magic that the rain brought to make him young again for a moment is now gone. And he's thinking, well, I guess I'll go back to my old ways. That was fun for a moment, but now it's back to sitting in my old chair. And then he sees Dot, still smiling. She's still dancing. Not because she's young again, but because she never stopped finding joy in their life together. She didn't need the magic rain to be happy. She simply chose to embrace the moment, to keep moving forward. And this is where Us Again truly shines. It's not a story about reversing time or reliving the past. It's about recognizing that love isn't limited to youth. It grows, it deepens, and is a choice we make every day. What's so moving about this story is how it portrays love, not just as something we fall into, but something we choose to nurture, even when life gets hard. It reminds me of Ephesians 5:25. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. You might remember that we actually talked about this in an earlier episode this month, but it still rings true. Art had to learn that love isn't just about reliving the past, it's about being present, just like in marriage, where seasons change and love deepens through challenges, joys, and even the mundane moments. Another verse that I think really fits with this theme is Psalm of Solomon, and that's found in chapter 8, verse 7. Many waters cannot quench love, rivers cannot sweep it away. The rain in Us Again isn't just magic, it symbolizes a renewal. Just like water revives the earth, love, when we truly embrace it, renews our hearts. Art's struggle in Us Again is real. How many of us feel like life has passed us by, that our best days are behind us? Maybe we've let stress, routine, or even disappointment create distance in our relationships. But 1 Corinthians 13:7 reminds us, love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. And love isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. And that is why we say relationships take work, marriage takes work. You have to be persistent, you gotta put in the work, you gotta go on those date nights, you gotta keep that fire alive. And sometimes we have to make that choice to dance in the rain, to embrace joy despite our circumstances. You know, on Instagram and everything, Rebecca and I and many other people, we post the best moments. We don't post about the disagreements that we have. We don't post about the nights where it's an emotional struggle, but yet we choose to embrace joy. We choose conflict resolution instead of just going by the wayside and letting the sun go down when upset or angry or whatnot. Again, it's about persistence and chasing that joy and dancing like nobody's watching. So what can we learn from Us Again? Love is a choice. Art had to choose to see the beauty in the present, just like how we choose to love our spouse or our significant other daily. Joy doesn't always have an expiration date. Dot never stopped dancing. She simply waited for Art to see the beauty in it again. God renews our hearts when we let Him. Like in the rain in the film, faith refreshes our souls, reminding us to embrace the moment and trust in God's timing. And we'll end with this. What is something you do to keep love and joy alive in your relationships, or just in life in general? Are you choosing to dance like nobody's watching and embrace the joy and the vibrancy of the outside world? Or are you staying stuck in the routine and the mundane? We'd love to hear from you. And that is going to do it for our romance series and for this week on the podcast. If you like this episode, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and ring the bell for notifications so that you are notified every time we post a new video. And until next time, keep those halos shiny and stay holy, my friends.